Hi, welcome to Hospitality Live with Rupesh. Each week, we feature an industry leader that will share the latest trends and the best strategies to help you grow. Now, welcome your host, Rupesh Patel.
Somebody please tell me we are live. Somebody please tell me we're live, because I don't see myself on the notifications on LinkedIn. Somebody hit the comments and let me know where you're watching from. And if this is live, guys, comment, let us know. This is episode number 84. Welcome to the show. And I don't know if we're live, but I'm just going to keep going with it. All right, there we go. I think we see. All right, we do see each other. All right, good. Jill's on. Nichols on. Guys, welcome to the show. Comment and let us know where you're watching from. This episode, guys, is going to be super important for all of us. If you're a hotel manager, hotel owner, you're doing anything in the hotel space or hospitality space, this episode is for you, because hundreds of you have reached out to me in the last couple of weeks saying, hey, I can't find anybody to work my front desk or work my restaurant or work the F&B side. And so this episode is dedicated to all of you guys. And we threw this together in a short amount of days. In the last couple of days, I'm like, we have to talk about this. And I postponed this other topic that I was going to talk about because things are opening back up. And as our state, Florida, opens up, it's hard to find people. So today's episode is number 84, how to find and hire hotel staff right now. And we have some experts on. We have Jeremy Nichols, and everyone knows Jeremy. He's with Gecko Hospitality. They do hospitality recruiting. And we have the regional director of HR at SPE Lifestyle Hospitality, Patty Paredes. I think I said that right or wrong. I'll find out when we bring her on. Guys, learn why it's difficult to hire right now. I'm sure you guys know. You're like, I think it's because of this, or I think it's because of that. We'll find out exactly why it's hard to hire people right now, and then find out what mistakes hotels and operators are making right now. A lot of us are making mistakes. I'm probably making mistakes at our hotels. We're going to discover those mistakes and fix them, and then learn which websites work. We're trying to figure out, all right, should I post an ad on this website, or should I connect with people on this website? We don't know. We'll find out today, and we'll talk about hiring tips and strategies. This episode is brought to you by SmartGuests.com. Guys, somebody put this in the comments. Somebody put SmartGuests.com with an S at the end. SmartGuests helps your hotel improve its operations, marketing, reviews, and get those service scores up there, right? With over 50 tools to help you drive revenues and turn happy stays into loyal guests, you have to use SmartGuests tools. They're simple tools that can help you get more reviews, improve your operations, and really market your hotel right now, which, if you're ramping back up, these are the tools. So somebody put in smartguests.com. There you go. We have, all right. And I want to give a shout out to people that are watching. We have a lot of people watching. A lot of people are interested in this topic right now, as it is fire. I've had over 1,000 people comment if this has been an issue in recent posts that I did on LinkedIn. And let's see where people are watching from. We have people from all over the place. We have Colombia, we have New York, we have Georgia, Nashville, Texas. Good morning to everybody. Tampa's in the house, Philippines in the house, India's in the house, Minneapolis, Wisconsin, Tucson, Arizona, Jacksonville. Let's see, Massachusetts. Yes, we do need housekeepers. Chicago's in the house. Florida's in the house. We are broadcasting live from Orlando, Florida, guys. Welcome to the show. We have Cali in the house, North Carolina. Man, all Daytona Beach is in the house. Texas. Guys, we have people from all over the United States and world listening, because this is a super important topic. Guys, all right. Every week I talk about a mindset, and this week it's important that we kind of keep going. And let me see if I can take this banner off. There we go. And I posted this 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I said, this is my mindset. It says, no one has figured out everything, right? We're all in work in progress. And I feel like when we think that this person has everything perfect in their life, they have everything going for them, know that they also have issues. We all have issues. And I think that's a mindset that we have to keep reminding ourselves that no one's figured everything out. And we just have to keep learning. And if you've understood that, or if you like that mindset and you want to keep yourself going and keep learning, hit the like button right now, because I think that's super important as we all continue ramping back out of this pandemic, that we keep going. And that was my reminder 2 days ago, keep it going, keep learning, keep growing. And that's my mindset this week, guys. All right, so every week I talk to my buddy. Let's see where she is. Hold on, let me see. All right, there she is, Sarah, and she talks about what's happening in hospitality. Here's Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sarah Dandashy from Ask the Concierge. Every week, I'll be sharing the latest hospitality and travel news and updates in a segment we like to call Hospitality Minutes.
What's up, Sarah?
What's up? You were like, I talked to my buddy. What's her name?
You've been on the show for how long? Like months and months and months. I feel like it's been years, and I keep forgetting. Why do I keep forgetting? It's signs of me getting older, Sarah. I'm sorry.
No, it's not. I just thought it was somebody. I was like, who's my friend? Who's on this show?
What's going on in hospitality and travel? Give us a news with the update in hospitality.
Lots of good things that are happening. The big thing I'm sure many of you heard last week was actually in regards to the CDC. So the CDC had issued new travel guidelines for vaccinated Americans. Now, here was the thing is that there was a lot of people were taking kind of highlights of it and maybe not necessarily looking at the whole thing. In essence, the CDC was just saying that they are saying that vaccinated Americans can travel relatively more safely within the United States. I know that there's been a lot like, oh, I don't have to get tested and this and that. Obviously, keep in mind that all of that does have to do with destination. So that is you want to be mindful before you travel anywhere. Always look to the destination that you're going to. But then they are eliminating the requirements if you are vaccinated that you would have to necessarily quarantine upon returning. Again, ultimately, at the end of the day, it is all based on your local rules and everything, but this is the overarching CDC rules. Now, interestingly enough, just to kind of like our little like proud moment where we can pat ourselves on the back in the United States, about 32% of the US population has received at least one dose of the vaccine. And just shy of 19% are actually fully vaccinated, which means that the US is on track to be the first large country to vaccinate about 70% of the population. So that's doing really, really well compared to, by the way, for many countries in Europe that are hovering at that sort of like 8%-ish. So we're definitely, a lot higher than that. Okay, moving on. This is also kind of exciting. Obviously, within the U.S., our number one international destination that we've all been able to go to, should we be comfortable to travel, was Mexico. So the number of 2021 flights this summer that are scheduled from the U.S. to Mexico is actually on track to be higher than 2019. They're adding way more flights for this particular summer. Now, actually, so according to IATA, there would be a total of 152,000 flights are scheduled between destinations in Mexico and the U.S. during this sort of, now mind you, that is a 7-month period from the end of March to the end of October. Now, there are going to be 23 million seats available, which is a 6% increase from 2019. So just goes to show you Mexico is still a hot spot. All right, moving on. Our final thing, I'm sure I've been seeing a lot of this buzzing around LinkedIn. It definitely is worth a mention. Marriott has announced that they are going to be doing a pilot program for contactless kiosks for both arrivals, so like a front desk, as well as a marketplace. So they've gone ahead and they've installed these kiosks in the Moxie in New York City and Times Square. They've also the Courtyard New York Marriott, Midtown East, Town Place Suites in Monroe, Louisiana. So completely different market. And then they're soon to be having this pilot program out in the Moxie Miami South Beach. Now, what's interesting is this whole check-in process is that they're literally like kiosks. Guests can skip the traditional check-in line. They complete just a 3-step process at the kiosk for a single reservation, and then room keys are created on the spot. I think the 3-step process is very interesting because, again, when we've always been talking about technology and hospitality and how can we streamline things, if they're able to do it in 3 steps, hopefully that can also translate to, traditional check-in processes. So should be interesting. It'll be powered by UV light to kill bacteria, et cetera, but keep your eyes peeled for that. So that is it for today's Hospitality 3 minutes. That's a hospital-ish. Wait, Rupesh, I think you're muted.
Sorry, I was hoping for one more slide. Come on, Sarah, one more.
I'm sorry. Well, I don't want to take up all your time because today's topic, by the way, is so important. So I just wanted to come in and do a little splash. But like right now, definitely hiring, recruiting, all of that is so huge. Across the United States. So you don't need to hear me talk. We need to.
And you hear from everybody, right? You hear from like people from like all over the place.
All over the place. It's insane. I mean, and I'm based in Los Angeles and even California, which is relatively slower to sort of the reopening process, although they announced it would be hopefully June 15th would be their official reopen. But even us as far as like where we are versus like Florida, Georgia, Texas, New York City as well too. Again, they're tiptoeing out into reopening. I mean, everybody's like really struggling looking for talented and appropriate staff. So
yeah. And I think it's going to be a crazy summer for all of us. So guys, tune in to this episode where we talk about how to find and hire hotel staff right now. We have some experts on. Sarah, before you go, we have something special happening this weekend, guys. You have to sign up before we sell out. And come on, here it is. If you want to learn how to improve your posts and your content and get more followers, then join our social media bootcamp right now.
Woo!
Okay.
If you only join just to hear Rupesh DJ, that's all I ask.
Hey, next week, actually, before the show, before we bring on Chip Rogers, that's coming on the show next week, I might just give you like a 5-minute set on my DJ equipment right here.
I'm into it.
Pre-show. If anybody's interested, hit the comments and let me know if that would be interesting to you before we bring on Chip Rogers from the American Hotel Lodging Association. That'd be so funny. But guys, let us know if you want to join our bootcamp. Go to rupesh.co/bootcamp and join us this Saturday as we help a lot of hotel people, a lot of people just in general improve their what, Sarah?
Their social media presence. So we talk about everything that we've done over the years. I mean, we've both built pretty impressive followings on different platforms. Obviously, Rupesh on LinkedIn, myself on Instagram, and all the tools that you can do to just create a stronger presence. Help gain followers, all sorts of great things. And we've done this a couple of other times. Everybody that's taken it has really walked away with like, oh my gosh, that was a lot of information. So we packed it into one day to make it convenient for you. Join us this Saturday. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's April 10th at noon for 3 hours. Like you get to spend 3 hours asking us questions, connecting with us. And really this group of people that we had on the last 2 groups that we've done is they've all been friends now. And it's which is awesome to bring a community together. You can ask us questions throughout the year without standing in line. And I know Sarah has 100 messages in her inbox, and I have at least the same. And if you join our bootcamp, rupesh.co/bootcamp, you'll get direct access to ask questions. So we share how to grow your following, how to boost your posts, how to improve your posts. If your posts aren't getting the virality you need to join our bootcamp, guys. It's rupesh.co/bootcamp. Sarah, it's always a pleasure. Where can people find you?
You can find me on social media everywhere at Ask a Concierge. So find me, send me a message, join us this Saturday. It's going to be a lot of fun. Maybe not so much DJing, but we'll definitely promise a lot of knowledge.
Hey, I might DJ for a minute.
Done.
All right, Sarah. Good talking to you guys. Connect with Sarah on LinkedIn and almost any single platform, including Clubhouse that we're on live right now on Clubhouse. So Sarah, it's always a pleasure. Talk to you next week.
Thank you.
Actually, I'll talk to you Saturday.
True. Good point.
All right. See ya. All right. So this episode number 84, I just dropped my pen. I'm not going to pick it up. We're talking about how to find and hire hotel staff right now. And we have some experts on. Let's bring them on. Hey, Jeremy, how are you doing?
Hello. How are you?
How are you doing?
Great.
Doing great.
Thanks for having me.
These guys are experts. Patty's an HR director, regional HR director for SBE Lifestyle Hospitality, and Jeremy's a hospitality recruiter. I wanted to talk to you, bring you guys on because this is a super important topic. A lot of hotels are struggling right now. We're all trying to put out ads. We're all trying to do the best we can, and we're struggling. Like there are salespeople working the front desk, and they were working in the past. This past year they were working the front desk because things are slow. Now things are busy, but they're still coming back to support the front desk, or they're supporting housekeeping. There's housekeepers that are working maybe the front desk. Like, it's all over the place. I get at least 100 messages every few days, and most of it's all about hiring. And so it's a pleasure having you on. I know a lot of people that are watching right now, and they're going to be watching after this, are going to really understand how to grow as we grow our business right now. So Jeremy, please introduce yourself, and then Patty. Patty, can you please introduce yourself? Jeremy's already been on the show a few times, and I know that everyone already knows Jeremy.
Well, Rupesh, thank you for having me. My name is Patty Paredes. I am the Regional Director of HR for SBE, and I support the Miami and the Bahamas region. So I've been in HR now for the past more than 15 years, in hospitality for almost 23 years. Clearly, I started when I was very, very young, and it's been a fun ride. It's been exciting, and I'm so happy that you're talking about this topic, because I think it's incredibly important, very relevant at this moment. So I appreciate this podcast being very intentional to deliver this message to all of our fellow hospitality professionals kind of struggling. And you're not alone. I guess that's the message. You are not alone.
Yeah, you work for a large company, and then you're all over the place. What cities are you in? So people that can understand, it's not just one state, or it's not just one city, but you have hotels all over the nation and outside of the United States too.
Yeah, we do. So we have Miami, we have in New York, we have LA, we have in other parts of the world. We just opened a hotel in Dubai, Dubai, which is fantastic. We were lucky to open a hotel in Seoul in 2020, as well as in Cancun this year. So we are a global company, and like I said, we're seeing this nationwide. When I speak to somebody on the West Coast, they have very, very similar concerns as well, and so we share tips all the time on hey, try this, and it's just a matter of hey, what's going to work.
Yeah. Well, it's a pleasure having you on, and Jeremy, welcome back.
Hello. Thank you for having me again. Thank you, everyone. What's that?
I said, please introduce yourself.
Oh, yeah. I'm Jeremy Nichols. I'm a hospitality headhunter with Gecko Hospitality, which is a nationwide firm and in Canada. And I specialize in the state of Florida. And I do some Caribbean searches as well. But I live in Florida, work Florida. And for anybody who might be in a state that is not as busy as you're hearing, buckle up, because we are the guinea pig. Florida is crazy, and it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. There is no season, right? We had season quarter 1, quarter 2 is supposed to be our season. I think it's just going to keep going.
Yeah. And Jeremy has been talking about this on Clubhouse and other platforms for weeks now, and possibly months now. And and if you're not ready for this, like, you have to be ready, especially if your city is closed right now, or shut down, or partially open. You're going to see a flood, especially if you're in a destination market where people are going to be coming to you as far as a vacation or a trip. And as corporate travel opens back up too, that there's some of that happening. I just flew from Orlando to Dallas to New Mexico last week. It was crazy in both Orlando and Dallas airports. New Mexico, not too much because of the restrictions, but as soon as things open up, it's going to be super busy, and it's going to be a difficult time for you to find business, because guess what? Once the city opens up, or the area or region opens up, everybody's looking for somebody to fill those positions, not only hotels. And so we're seeing this now, as our hotels have been busy for we've been sold out for almost 6 weeks now, since start of spring break, right? And Patty, are you seeing the same thing in Miami?
We are, especially in Miami, and especially in South Beach, and it's almost sometimes like the pandemic, didn't happen, and it's just business as usual. It's quite busy, and I think that's what we need to catch up on. I don't think that anybody expected for it to get so busy so fast. And so now we're playing that catch up. I think in one of your previous podcasts, I heard one of your guests said, we took the elevator down and now we're taking the stairs up. And that is exactly what we're doing on the recruitment side as well. It was very hard, very fast. And now we are recuperating, but it is a bit of a race against how busy we are getting versus how fast we can staff.
Yeah, yeah. Even last week, because you guys operate hotels and the F&B side. You have restaurants too, and so you're seeing the same thing happening on both sides of our industries, right? It's not
Yeah.
just only hotels. People are coming back to hotels because there was a stigma of I'm not going to get a job in hotels for the next year or two, and they're not going to be busy, and then all of a sudden now we're busy, and they're like, well, I'm not going to come back because of whatever reason, because maybe there's another pandemic that's going to happen in the next year or 2 or 3 years, and now I fell into this industry, and now I'm not. People are thinking those kind of things, and so how do we get that mindset out of their mind? Really, how do we get them to understand that hospitality is a career that you can have? Yes, there was a blip for 9 months or 10 months, but guess what? Things are coming back, and now most of the country is going to be vaccinated or at least feel comfortable traveling, and this is when we pick up. So with the restaurant side and the hotel side, like what's happening right now?
Yeah, so our company is very unique in the sense that we have a global lifestyle. So we offer everything. We offer hotels, restaurants, nightlife, residences as well. So we get a little bit of everything, and so it's really about demonstrating the resilience that hospitality people have. I think at this point, it's that, yeah, we have the ability to bounce back. This was a hurdle on the road, a fairly large hurdle. And, but like you said, hotels are coming back, restaurants are coming back. Our restaurants are incredibly busy, just as busy as the hotels, whether they are independent restaurants or whether they are sitting within hotels. So we continue to see that volume go up. People want to go out and they want to go to dinner. They want to do something. They want to go outside. And I think that's only going to increase because those who have still continued to try to stay at home, there is going to come a point where they're going to feel a little more comfortable. So we're going to continue to see, I think, this cycle of people that are just saying, I want to go somewhere. And we have not just a lot of travelers that are coming into Miami because it's easy. It's generally fairly easy to travel into Miami, but we also find a lot of locals. So we have a lot of our local business that is coming back and that does want to do something, maybe because they may not be able to necessarily travel or travel abroad. I personally love to travel abroad every year. I haven't been able. I'm itching to go, and I'm being cautious and just kind of waiting for the right time. But much like me, there are many people that are feeling that way, whether they want to travel locally or they want to travel internationally. So I think that's going to continue to drive the business when it comes to wanting to go out and spend a nice time together.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jeremy, what are you seeing as far as people? I know you were busy all last year trying to keep people going on the employee side. You were like, don't worry, it's going to pick back up soon. And that was your message this entire past year. Like, hey, here are the things that you can do to improve your resume. Here's how to go find a job. Here's what to go do. Now it's like tables have turned. Now you're like supporting the hotels and like you're helping the hotel side. What are they saying to you as far as hotels coming to you saying this or that?
Right now, it seems to be really aggressive on the food and beverage side, like super aggressive. I work both hospitality side and I have the restaurant division for South Florida, and I have the whole state of Florida for hospitality. And restaurants are like triple the requisition of hotels. Now, hotels that have a lot of searches, but restaurant is just a whole nother level. They need like GMs, AGMs, kitchen managers, sous chefs, down everything. And it all popped really quick. Like I remember talking to Panhandle clients months ago, and they were busy, and I felt bad for Miami. Miami was still like running 13% occupancies months ago, and like they were struggling to have open up, and then all of a sudden it just went crazy. And all you got to do is go on the job board and type the word restaurant, and you'll see a laundry list of every single restaurant looking for talent. Hotels now, you'll see, a lot of housekeeping needs, a lot of front desk needs. I'm starting to see sales come back. I have a few DOS searches that were easier to fill in the past, and now they're getting picked up. I had 2 counters just last week, and you have to move super quick on candidates. That's like one of my tips. Do not sleep. Move quick. Do not hesitate, because I'm seeing them move at my desk. So I know it's got to be happening on the corporate level.
Yeah, and I think right now a lot of people are saying too. I've received a ton of messages saying, "Hey, we went through the process of hiring people. We did the interview. They were amazing. Like they fit the bill, and then it was day to start, and they didn't show up.
Yeah.
That's happening a lot. And so why is that happening? What do you guys think? What's the reason that's happening? And guys, comment, let us know why you think it's happening.
Would you like to go first, Patty?
Sure. I think, yeah, we get that. We also get, we do job fairs. Sometimes we invite someone and they confirm, and sometimes they don't come as well. But I think, to Jeremy's point, there's a tremendous amount of competition. But I also think that that's a great opportunity right now for hospitality professionals, because the hospitality professionals that are trying to get into the hospitality industry right now, they have an incredible opportunity that we are searching. We do want those professionals to work with us, and joining the hotels right now will give a great opportunity because they can continue to grow and learn, and maybe an edge over maybe someone who may join later on. But I think that's kind of the mindset to have right now, versus that, hospitality is maybe not as safe as a place to work given what happened. And I think people are still hesitant about coming back to work. I think maybe they can go gung-ho and then they read or see something, and then that maybe changes their mind. Another thing is, like Jeremy said, a competition. Right now, everybody's hiring. I literally see a job fair available for any given hotel just about every day. And my message to my team is, when we have a candidate, we do everything. They leave with an offer, because the moment that candidate leaves our doors, they are more than likely not coming back. So, yeah,
that's a great tip. Like, let them leave with an offer instead of saying, "Hey, we'll think about it. We'll get back to you in a few days or next week after we do our traditional hiring process." But that's not the case right now. And I definitely agree with Jeremy, where the F&B side is really struggling, because people are now feeling more, instead of traveling to a city, they're feeling, all right, listen, I'm going to go get a nice dinner. Patty, right? You're saying you're seeing the local market drive into your hotel. So I'm seeing that here too in Orlando, that, hey, if I don't feel like traveling like to another city or travel to another state, I'm okay with now getting food or going into a restaurant and having dinner there. And just last week when I was in Arizona or in Mexico, this amazing restaurant that has been on TV, that has been like on the Food Network, and it was a huge line outside. They stopped serving dinner inside, because they were like, we can't find employees to work our night, the dinner rush. And so they're like, we're just doing to-goes right now because we can't find it. And I think that's the case for a lot of hotels and a lot of restaurants where they're they're ready to open up, but they just can't find the right people. And so I see that. I like that idea of like, hey, if you bring somebody in, you interview them, you like them a lot, they're aligned with your values and all of those things, give them an offer. And even more than giving them an offer, do you have can you get back to us today or tomorrow, or is there like a deadline kind of so they can start, or is it like start in 2 weeks?
No, we try to definitely go through the process as quickly as possible. Now, mind you, we are also respectful of anyone having to give the appropriate 2-week notice and so on. So when that happens, yes, but if they say I can start right away, then we say, okay, well, let's get everything done. Let's get the paperwork done. Let's get you, everything that you need to get done from our end, so we can get you in as soon as possible. And like I said, I think employers now just have to have a mind frame of employees have choices. They have choices. We are not the only choice. So even when we are amazing companies, which there are many amazing companies out there, we need to understand that the competition is fierce and that employees have a choice. And we need to make an effort to differentiate ourselves from our competitors. And at the end of the day, I hear a lot of conversation about rates and salaries because they are also all over the place at the moment. But at the end of the day, I think that an employee who feels cared for, who feels that they're treated with respect, who feels that the environment in which they're in is going to be conducive to them feeling good, in combination with the right pay scale and benefits, I think that as a whole is going to maybe convince them to stay versus going to another location or versus taking another position. So I think it's an emphasis on the HR folks and the managers when hiring to really demonstrate those values, to show that employee why they should pick us when maybe we're offering the same thing as the next door. So we need to kind of make that extra connection and truly be intentional with our interactions, so that our team members feel like they are coming into a family and that they are going to be cared for, and we are going to ensure that they feel good.
Yeah, and they're
going to work hard.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people want to just thrive, and they want to get a lot of I can't think of the word, but they want to feel fulfilled out of what they're doing, and they're not just going to their work anymore, right? This younger generation wants this experience too when they're working at your place, not just to say I have a job, but like, oh, I'm proud of this job or whatever. Is that what you're seeing right now with the younger generation of people?
I see a little bit of both. With our team, I must say, and again, not biased at all, but we have an amazing team of hourly and management team members, and the sense of pride that I see in them, because as you said, sometimes we get very busy, and team members are working longer hours, more days, and that's not easy. And there's only so much the money can take you, and so there has to be that additional connection, much like we talk about the connection with our guests and how we can create irrational loyalty for our guests to come back to our hotels. It's kind of a similar concept, I feel, with our internal guests. We need to create that irrational loyalty with our internal guests for them to be able to say, look, we just love being there, and we're gonna make it. We're gonna be in the trenches together, but we're gonna make it together.
Yeah, and let's reset the room real quick and this show. We're live on LinkedIn, we're live on YouTube, and we're also live on Clubhouse. And every 15 minutes, 20 minutes, we reset the room in Clubhouse. Reset the room. We're talking about how to find and hire hotel staff right now with Jeremy and Patty, and they're both professionals at this. This is what they do all day long. Jeremy, what are some mistakes that hotels are making right now that we can all learn from and grow from?
Oh, okay. So we'll jump at it. Well, first of all, I just want to say I'm really happy to hear Patty saying the things that she's addressing, because that right there is one of the steps that hotels and properties and restaurants should be doing, is talking about this and making this part of the conversation. Because I feel like there are some clients that I've spoke to in the past that are not up to speed. So it's really good to hear, HR on the internal side talking about these things and addressing it. As far as mistakes that hotels are making right now, I would say, I said earlier, not moving fast enough and dragging out the process way too long. Sometimes I'm seeing people take 2 weeks, 3 weeks to make a decision. And it's just not going to happen right now. It's too competitive. And, I'm glad again that Patty's on the call, because she can vouch for that. It sounds like sometimes as a headhunter, I'm being provocative because I want to push that candidate through, but I'm giving you like the honest feedback. These candidates are not sticking around. And I'm seeing it at my desk. I'm seeing candidates taking counters. They'll wait like a week, and then they're like, "Hey, I just took an offer. Sorry, I'm not interested anymore." So move quick. I think another thing is finding reasons not to hire a candidate rather than why to hire a candidate. I think that there's hotels that are just finding these reasons why they should not hire this candidate, and they're focusing too much on that. You got to flip that around and think, why did you like this person? What are things that you like about this person? Stop trying to dwell on the negative. Of course, if there's things that are just like, red flags, yes, I'm not saying to hire everybody, but try to change the mindset. I think thinking that this market is an employer's market and it's going to vanish when unemployment runs out, that's a huge mistake. Yeah. Because once unemployment runs out, it's not going to be this huge flood of talent coming in. Yeah, we'll probably get an increase and a nice bump, but to satisfy the demand and satisfy the need, it's just not going to be what you think it's going to be. So stop thinking this is the employer's market and start treating the candidates like it's a candidate's market again. The job requirements are really narrowing down the pool. If you look at some of these descriptions out there, there's all these musts. And I think it just puts off some candidates. Like when I'm reading these job descriptions, they're too robotic. They're not personable enough. They don't talk about the company culture enough. And it's just very I need. And I feel like we have to really look at those job requirements again. And just also they're really narrowing down your pool, because sometimes when you speak to a candidate, they might be a great fit. They might not check all 10 boxes, but if they check 8 of them, maybe you need to figure out if this person can come in and fill that role. You have to be creative, start having these dialogues with your team, start talking to hiring managers and decision makers at the company, moving the process along faster, talking about like, what are you open to? I know that there are non-negotiables, especially when we get into director roles. You do have to have certain requirements, but some of them are way too extreme. So we really got to start looking at that. And then I think my last tip would be, when we look as a recruiter and as a hiring manager in HR, we usually have our yes pile and our no pile when we get our resumes in. There should be a maybe pile, and you should be at least phone screening those maybe piles. Instead of just disqualifying them and, again, finding a reason not to call them, you should be calling your maybes, because you never know. Something might look off on the resume, and when you talk to them, they might just be that perfect fit with that soft skill that you need. So really start making sure you're calling those maybes.
Yeah. And I think one mistake that we used to make in the past is just having one person go through and interview that person. Maybe you had a bad day. Maybe you weren't ready to hire that person, or you weren't ready to hire anybody, and it was a no for everybody that passed your desk, right? That resume that passed your desk. And so is there an opportunity for you to maybe have another person look at these resumes along with you? Patty, is that a case for your company, or do you do it whereas there's multiple people going through the process of hiring, or is it just you and that's it, or somebody on your team?
No, we have actually, our managers are very engaged in hiring. So it's a combination. And for certain positions, even our area VP is involved in hiring. So we want to make sure that we hear all of the different voices in the room, because at the end of the day, the managers, especially when hiring team members, they're the ones that are going to have to train, to make sure that the team member is ready, etc. So we want to make sure that there is a connection, they feel good. So yeah, we definitely engage all of our managers to make sure that they have the voice to be able to hire just the right person for the role. But much as Jeremy said, I think flexibility, I've encouraged a lot of flexibility in the team because, again, with candidates have options. So we have to have flexibility. And I think gone are the days when we used to say, well, you can't work a certain day. Well, we can't hire you. Or you can't do full time. Well, we can't hire you, especially hospitality. It's a 365 day, 24 hour. So I think we were all, the old school thinking is if you can't work weekends, then we can't hire you. Well, you know what? That's not the case right now. We have to get creative. Well, maybe if we need a full-time person, could we get 2 part-time people that might be flexible enough to fulfill that role? If somebody can work a couple of days, better than not having someone to not work on those days. So I think flexibility is incredibly important. And also identifying, when you talk to the individuals, identifying the talent to see, look, maybe you apply for this role and maybe this is not the best role for you, but you know what? We have another position that we think would be a great fit. And we have been able to place a few excellent team members because they came to apply for a different role, or they came to us and actually said, I have no idea what I want to do, but I want to work here. And we said, well, we love your personality, so let's go ahead and interview you, and then we'll figure out where would be the best place for you so you can thrive and you can make the hotel successful. And it has been a win-win. Mm-hmm.
I love that. I mean, I remember in the past we hired a front desk associate, and that associate is now a GM at our property. And she came in applying for a hotel front desk position because she just got laid off or whatever the case was. And now we saw that she cared. We saw all those great values that you would see in a leader, and she's a GM now, right? And it was like very quickly that she turned into a GM because she had that experience. But so I love that you're saying if you came to apply for this position, but maybe you feel like they can grow into this position eventually, maybe they can start here. And that's a great. I love that tip. I'm writing that down. Jeremy, what do you see when you're talking to candidates and they're not the right fit, but they're a possible candidate for this hotel?
Well, for me, I work several different searches. So that's like the standard practice for me. Like when we interview candidates, all my recruiters, like if they're a good candidate and they're not a fit for that particular role, like if I have a good relationship with that hiring manager, I will let them know, hey, I met this candidate. They might not be a fit right now, or maybe they're not meeting all those boxes, but are you open to at least having a conversation with this person? But if they don't fit that particular search, I'm still going to put them on, we call them a tear sheet. So we'll mark them and we'll make a note of this good candidate. And we will have a search that will be a fit for them eventually. Might not be right now, might not be next week, maybe even a year from now, but they're going to be marked and tagged in our ATS. So that's another tip for people out there that don't have an ATS. You should get one, an applicant tracking system. But making sure you're making those very detailed notes on every single person you speak to and you come in contact with, because they might be a fit later on. And Patty was talking about basically like building your bench. If you feel someone is a cultural fit and you can get them in your property or at your restaurant, do it and build your bench.
All right. I like that. All right. So now we're talking about how to hire people and how to find them. Where do you find them from? Like, we go back to the old school way of like old school and put an ad in a paper, or what do you do? What do you guys do, Patty?
So we use all traditional platforms that are out there to post positions. The Indeed, ZipRecruiters, LinkedIn, College Boards. We have gone a little bit old school, to be very honest. Now, recently, so we are what I call hitting the pavement as well. And I think it's all about people interaction. We can be passive recruiters. So we can't any longer just sit at our desks and look at the applications and see what's coming in, because again, so much competition. So we have to actively go and search for these candidates, whether we're using third party or assistance like with Gecko or any other resources. But even us as recruiters within our properties, we are going on LinkedIn and we are, looking for people and talking to people and connecting and trying to see who would be interested in addition to using other sources. And I must admit, I've gone out there and talked to people as well, just kind of one-on-one, just walked around in different places to say, hey, we're hiring. And it is very much about that connection, everything that you can do from I know a big part is also utilizing your own resources. And by that, I mean, even your own team members, right? Because if we hire team members, it's for a reason. They fit our culture, they fit our values. And what best recruiters than your own team members sometimes? So we very much encourage our team to say, hey, refer. We have referral bonuses and programs. Bring us someone as awesome as you. You can sell them on your story, what you have done. The more the better. And we guarantee interviews for referrals. So we definitely try to get as creative as possible. And we're very open. And we've told our teams, no idea is a bad idea. So if you have an idea of what we can do to recruit, if you heard of something, if you want us to go to a place, tell us, we will do it.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of creative things. Even before this pandemic, there was a whole movement of, especially the hourly worker, where they got paid the same day. And I've seen that a lot, where that's like an incentive for those people that need money right now. They can't wait a week or they can't wait 2 weeks to get paid. I see hotels and especially the F&B side where like, work today, get paid today. And that's an opportunity that a lot of HR companies that are outside supporting businesses, they're doing that. So there are platforms out there where they can help you do that. Also, another thing I wrote is referrals. You talked about referrals within your own team. I think that's an opportunity where we said in the past is, hey, if you bring on a friend that you really recommend that will align with our property and align with our values and our culture and everything, you can bring them in. Well, you'll get paid after 90 days or whatever the day period was. You'll get paid $100, $200. You'll get this bonus. You'll get this extra day off. I mean, right now there's a lot of creative ways to kind of move that incentive program or that referral program along. What are some other ways that hotels, without going out and spending a ton of money, what are some ideas that they can do? And by the way, guys, I would love to learn what's your most important position that you're hiring for right now in the comments. So let us know which position you're looking for right now, which is, there's hotels that don't have housekeepers. There are hotels that the GM's working all the front desk shifts because they can't find a front desk person. There are hotels that are working the DOS side, the laundry side. They're working everything just to make sure that their guests that they didn't expect to be full today, they get taken care of. Comment, let us know. I want to definitely, all right, some people are saying cooks, housekeeping. I think they're all over the place. Patty, what's the number one position that you see that you guys need?
Jeremy knows this one. I told him about cooks. So right along with the comments. So whoever's writing the comments, right along. I think those are the most popular positions across the board, especially with hotels that have restaurant venues. At the culinary side, the food and beverage side are where we are finding a lot of need. Housekeeping as well probably would be a close second, if not, close to. So yeah, across the board, that's what I hear the most. And when I've talked to other friends, like I said, on the West Coast, it's about the same.
Yeah, Jeremy, what are you saying? What are people saying? Hey, I need to hire this person. Can you help me?
It's the food and beverage side. It's definitely, I think, restaurant managers on the brick and mortar side is restaurant managers. On the hotel side, I've quite a few sous chef searches. Not really many ECs yet. I'm starting to see those pop up, but chef de partie, chef de cuisine, sous chefs, back of house, huge need.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same. All right, so Patty already alluded to this, some ways and some websites that people can get to or some resources. Jeremy, let's go to you and share what websites if somebody can't hire you to fill a position, what websites do you recommend them? Of course, you're going to say yourself first. Come to me if you're
no. I would say, to be honest with you, Rupesh, to be honest with you, I would say when it comes to like third-party recruiters or headhunters, if you were going to partner with one, I would encourage like any company that is thinking about that, just to vet them all. Like if you were to call me, vet me against others too, and just see what's a good fit for you, because we're not the answer. We're just an extra extension of your recruiting efforts, right? I'm a contingent recruiter. So if I so happen to find that talent to help you, then it's a win-win for both of us. I'm compensated and you're compensated. But, there is no silver bullet when it comes to recruiting. You should be doing everything. And bravo to Patty. She brought up so many good things that I would recommend. Just to kind of piggyback off the referral program, you also think of your referral program with loyal clients or customers that are coming to your restaurant or your property. You can talk to them. They might know people as well, especially when it comes to frontline workers. And when I worked corporate, I did corporate for 17 years before being external. We used to have a card. It was called the You Impress Me card. And it would be our logo on the front, and on the back, it would say You Impress Me. And what that does is it helped a lot of the line workers, like if they want to get the referrals and get that referral check that Patty was talking about. Sometimes they don't remember that when they're out and about and they go to a restaurant or they go to a hotel and they see somebody that they want to take. So if they have these business cards with your logo on it, and then on the back of it says You Impress Me on it, they can sign their name on it, hand it to that person, and if that referral comes in, it's easy for them to get acknowledged that they brought the referral in. And it's also good for them just to have that piece, that tangible card, to spread the word and flyer and promote the property. So that's an idea. But you asked me about websites and social sites. So I would say groups on LinkedIn and Facebook are good, but they're only as good as you make them. If you're a member, you just have to make sure you're really visible and participate. Don't just join and hide in the shadows. You really have to participate. Social media, I would say, LinkedIn, YouTube, Clubhouse, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Anybody that's listening, Rupesh and Sarah are doing the boot camp. So everything they're saying is so true. So join that and they can help you out with that. Social media is probably one of the biggest parts of getting outside of the job boards, but that takes a lot of work and you really have to make yourself be visible and active. But what that does for you is when you do reach out as a recruiter or as a company and you're trying to find that talent, it turns that cold call into a warm one because they know who you are. It's so much easier for me to reach out to people and try to set up a call and have them talk to me because they know who I am, because I'm super vocal in Florida. So a lot of times when I reach out to people, thankfully they know who I am. So they're going to answer a call and they're going to talk to me. But if you're just not active on social media and you don't have that imprint, that could really hurt you. And others that do have a better imprint might have a leg up on you. So I would say that, and again, there's no silver bullet. Just try everything. Job boards, you can still, use the job boards, Indeed, LinkedIn, Zip, Glassdoor, even Monster and Career Builder are still around. H Careers is still around, but not just post, but try to get their resume databases and sign into their databases and source their people. Because there might be people on there that were from a year ago that might not be active right now and applying, and you can go into their database and pull.
Nice. I mean, yeah, I wrote down a host of different things. I mean, I think Patty mentioned most of them. LinkedIn, Indeed, HCareer, Snag a Job, ZipRecruiter, get a recruiter if you need to. The referral program, job fairs. People are still doing job fairs. I mean, they've been doing job fairs this entire pandemic just to get the resume, that stack growing. Because if you say, all right, we hired everybody we need, guess what? And you're like, we're done hiring. Guess what? Next week, you're going to need to hire again because somebody had left. Somebody found another job. Somebody found a better job than what you can offer. And that's when you have those, that's what a lot of hotels make a mistake, or just hospitality, where they're like, oh, we're done. And then they cut off that ad and they just cut everything off instead of like letting it trickle. Maybe reduce your budget down, let it trickle in. Maybe get few resumes a day and maybe get your inbox full so you can have that ongoing resumes coming into your inbox. That way you're not all of a sudden struggling, and now you have people shifting from one position to another because you couldn't fill that position in right away. So that's an opportunity. I love that you say college boards. Craigslist still works. People are still on Craigslist.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yes.
Craigslist works.
Yeah.
Craigslist still does work. And then I like that you're saying go on to these Facebook groups. There are, and somebody shared this a couple weeks ago. Actually, Jeremy, I think I heard it on your Clubhouse recently, is that, your city, if you're living in a big city or a bigger city than, maybe just like 5,000 people, like a nice big city with a decent population, they have a job board or a group, like a careers group within Facebook that you can join and you can share and talk about what's happening. It's not you just coming into an opportunity or just coming on just to say, hey, we're hiring. You have to be part of the conversation. You have to be part of that group and that community, instead of just jumping and saying, hey, we have a job today. Maybe ask questions of people posting their job. Like, hey, maybe you might have somebody that you can refer to. And I think that's an opportunity, instead of just jumping in on some of these groups on Facebook, or I think every single platform has some kind of group that you can go and learn from, or at least connect with. And really, at the end of the day, it's all your connections that you've made. And then I'll throw one on top of that, is these candidates are now looking at your reviews for your business. So if you have really crappy reviews, guess what? They know what kind of operator you are. And that's an opportunity right now. So if you start filling up, guess what? Start improving your reviews. Start that side where when a candidate says, hey, should I go work at that website or that company because I actually saw that they have a job opening? Well, they're going to go do your research too, which was coming on board, or that's what people were doing in the last few years. But I think it's even more predominant now, where social media is a big thing. Reviews are a big thing. Patty, is that what you're seeing too, where people are like, oh yeah, thanks. I looked at your website. I love what you guys are doing. That's why I came in.
Yeah. So I think a lot of times when employees see the company, I mean, we have a really impressive portfolio. So I think when they see that, they really do like the atmosphere, and kind of it's fun. It's a fun company. We're luxury with a twist of fun and mischievousness. So it's a little bit different. And so I think people do fall in love with that. And so it is always important, like Jeremy said, to keep that presence. And at the same time, I think it's also important to know your audience. And when you're talking about recruitment and what platforms you're going to use, it's important to know, okay, if you're recruiting for a particular role, what are they going to more than likely be talking to or looking at? What speaks to them? And I think that's where you find that, try all of the different things that you can. And it's almost like you're just shooting and see what sticks, and don't get tired of just trying, and it's trial and error, and try it once. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then, try again, try something else. I'm fortunate that I work with a really amazing HR team as a whole, and they do an amazing job of being very creative and just going for it. Our leaders are also exceptional leaders, very strong leaders, but mostly we keep a very strong sense of transparency. So they understand how hard everyone is working to recruit and fill the position. So they become kind of part of the solution versus not feeling like they're being supported.
Yeah. And I think and guys, if you're watching right now and you have an idea that can help all of us improve, because, sometimes we're just making this stuff up as we go, right? please comment and let us know what's worked for you. Maybe it could help somebody else. Maybe you can connect with somebody else. And this is what we do when we're talking about social media. It's really helping each other out. And this is what Patty's here to do and Jeremy's here to do too. Guys, we could talk about this for hours and hours about all the different things within just like Indeed, just within the descriptions that you post, the job title, all of those things are important as we continue bringing the hospitality and travel industry back. I know it's coming back. This summer is going to be nuts for all of us. I hope this topic and this conversation helped you guys. I would love, if you love this, hit the like button right now and then share your best website that you go to where you go find people. It could be a social media website. It could be something that's local in your market that maybe somebody else that lives in your market or that's working in your market, or maybe gets an idea and shares it in their market. I love that idea too. Guys, comment, let us know if you like this episode. Patty, it was a pleasure. Jeremy, it was a pleasure. Any last words, any last tips on jobs? Patty, we'll go with you.
Well, first of all, once again, thank you. I've really enjoyed. And for employers, I would say, once again, we're not alone. We're all going through it and we're coming up with ideas and just continue to come up with ideas. For employees, I would say, who do want to come to work, just continue the searches. Employers are hiring. I also would say visit the individual websites for the different hotels and different companies. Like if you want to join whatever company you go to, like SB, careers at SB, for example. But it's good to really just be out there. And I think as an industry, we'll get through it together. So I think all of the ideas are great. And I love to hear that. And at the end of the day, it's about all of us coming through this.
Yes, it was a pleasure. Where can people find you, Patty?
At SOS South Beach at the moment.
Beautiful property, guys. It's a great vibe out there. I'm usually out there like once a year just to like hang out in South Beach. And I was telling you before, prior to our show going live, I was like, it's hard to get into some of these venues. And even now it's harder. I watched on the news a couple of weeks ago, Miami, they had to shut down like at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock at night because it was so crazy. And think about that's pent up demand that these college students wanted to get into and hang out. And so think about when the rest of the world or the rest of the country is vaccinated or at least feels comfortable traveling. Think about how that's going to impact your city. Patty, it's always a pleasure, or it's a pleasure having you on. I'm sure we can have this conversation again where we talk about more insights. Guys, if you love this episode, hit the like button and follow Patty here on LinkedIn. And she's on other channels too. So if you want to give a shout out to your other channels.
Yeah, LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, and again, always looking to connect with different people, and very open to also giving advice if anybody just kind of has a questions. I know right now sometimes we are having a hard time navigating to what to do, resume questions, etc. Like I said, we're all here to help each other out.
Yeah, I love it. It's a pleasure having you on. Jeremy, where can people find you? And I know they can find you all over the place, especially your YouTube channel, which is awesome.
YouTube, yeah, which was by default because of the pandemic. So that's one thing that was positive for me is by default, I made a YouTube channel to help people. And that just helped me with content and just be more comfortable doing shows like this. And because I was kind of introverted, believe it or not, before that. So find me on YouTube, find me on LinkedIn, of course. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Clubhouse. I do a show there every Friday at 11 o'clock with some great recruiters from the UK. And we talk all things hiring and all things hiring in hospitality. And it's all Q&A. So a lot of these things that we're talking about now, you can jump in and ask us right there. The good news is, everybody, I said this to Rupesh earlier, is the light at the end of the tunnel is getting bigger. So we're here. A year ago, I was on his show and it was pretty grim. It was pretty scary. So this is all great news. We just have to start having these conversations. So anybody that's listening that are in states that are a little bit behind Florida with demand, buckle up. It's coming. Like, we're the guinea pig. You're gonna get busy.
Yeah, we're happy to be the guinea pig, and we're happy to share these insights with you because, yes, it's coming. It's going to come to your city, and I think corporate travel is going to come back in the next. I want to say, I hope the next 6 months where we have meetings and conventions. I'm actually attending the Hunter Conference next month. I think exactly in a month, and I'm excited that we get to connect again. And I think a lot of people in this country and others are ready. And so How do we keep people safe? How do we make sure they have a great experience at your hotel? And it's the people that you're hiring on, and it's those people that are really connecting with your guests, and it's our job to really kind of fill those positions. And I love this topic. So guys, thank you so much. I know we have to do a second. This is like we have to do a part 2 on maybe just tools and tips on the HR side and the hiring side. If you like this episode, please hit the like button. Patty and Jeremy, I know we do like a 5-minute post show on Clubhouse. Are you guys available?
Yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I have to run to another call, but I will definitely be available for future ones. Thank you.
All right, Patty, appreciate it. Jeremy, I'll see you on in about 5 minutes. Guys,
all right.
Thank you so much. Let's see if we can end the show real quick and jump onto Clubhouse. All right, so that was amazing. I love what they said. I love the tips that they shared. I wrote down a bunch of things that I'm going to bring back and say, hey, are we doing these things? If you like this episode, hit the like button. Guys, there's 3 ways, maybe 4 ways that you can support me. And the first one is go hit SmartGuests.com. They're our sponsor for the show, and support this website. Next, I wrote down 3 ways. All right, 4 ways. It is go to youtube.com/Rupesh Live. And let me see if I have that banner. I don't have the banner. Somebody put the link up. It is Rupesh, or it's youtube.com/Rupesh Live. Hit the subscribe button there. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers here in the next week or so. And really, that's one way. The second way is go ahead and if you have a phone, a smartphone, which I think all of us have now, you have Spotify. Go download the Spotify app and find this podcast. It is Hospitality Live with me, Rupesh, and it is, if you go to Anchor, ANCHOR.FM/Rupesh, RUPESHCO. Oh, I have it right here. You'll be able to go and get past 83, 84 episodes, including this one where you can listen to it instead of watching it. That's the Spotify. And then lastly, follow me on LinkedIn and Instagram. Instagram, it is Instagram.com/RupeshCO. And of course, you can find me, just type in Rupesh Patel on LinkedIn. Guys, this is a pleasure having you. I know a lot of you stuck to this and stuck around. I love that you guys are on, and I hope you got some value out of it. I hope you learned something out of this. Thank you so much. I will see you on next Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, where we talk about what's happening in the hotel industry with the American Hotel and Lodging Association's CEO and President, Chip Rogers. I'm so excited to talk to him next week. He's going to be bringing it on. He's going to come on and talk about what's happening. Give us the update on what's happening in Washington, D.C. Guys, please join me next Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. Until then, please take care of each other, take care of yourself, and wish you the best week ever. Talk to you soon. Bye. And by the way, we'll be on Clubhouse after this. All right, bye. All right, Clubhouse, we are going live in 2 minutes, or actually we're going live now. All right, so